You're on CYInterview.
I'm Chris Yannick. Today on CYInterview. Over the last month, a few more shows have come back to Las Vegas. Today we welcome dancer Skyla from the long-running female revue fantasy that takes place at the Luxor Hotel and Casino. Skyla, thanks for being on CYInterview. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Well, it's very nice for you to be here today. So just to begin, I would really love for you to talk about your performing arts background and being a third-generation Las Vegas performer. I mean, kind of an interesting story as always. So tell me about your performing arts history and your family's history.
Yeah, so I basically started dancing as soon as I could walk when I was, in the womb. My grandma brought the Lido over from Europe at the Stardust. My mom opened Jubilee at Bally's. And I continue that legacy as a showgirl in fantasy. But grew up my entire life dancing. My mom and grandma owned a dance studio. Grew up doing ballet, jazz, tap, modern, contemporary, everything that you could possibly think of in different dance styles. Also spent some summers in New York City taking classes and just really continuing to grow my knowledge. So I just feel like it was destiny that I ended up being a professional dancer on the Strip.
Well, as somebody who loves Las Vegas today and the past, I can imagine only the stories that you have heard from your grandmother and your mother about what Las Vegas was like then and now and what it is today. What do you take from their stories and experiences and apply it to your performing arts career today?
I definitely think just that knowledge has helped me grow and mature quickly within, the entertainment industry, just because I kind of had a little preview of kind of what it was like. Obviously, it's a little bit different then to now, but I definitely think it prepared me for everything to expect. So I was never, disappointed when I didn't get an audition, or when I did get something, I knew that I needed to be super grateful and appreciate every single moment that I was, performing in whatever show or on that stage, even if it was a tiny show for one day. Everything counts, and everything allows you to grow as an artist as well. And even if their stories are just incredibly fun to listen to, and I couldn't wait until it was my turn to be able to tell my stories and my experiences.
That's why we're having you on today. What did you think about growing up in Las Vegas, being someone who already kind of knew what it was like? Is it kind of one of those things where I like to feel like, as somebody who moved here 4 years ago, that if you live here your whole life, you kind of understand it better. You can understand it when you live here for a period of time, but what was it like just to grow up in that world of Las Vegas entertainment and glamour and all those kind of things?
It was definitely really fun. There are parts of my life, too, there's different parts of the Las Vegas area for people who live here. So the Strip kind of wasn't later into my life where I kind of got to explore and go backstage and meet my mom's friends. But it definitely gives you a little, inside look, too, to be in that environment. I think that my experience might have been different if my parents hadn't been in entertainment. I might have not have had those experiences at all. But growing up in Las Vegas, I feel like there's still so much to learn every single day. I'm like, oh, there's this new spot, or there's this new thing, or, oh, I've never met that person before. It's crazy how big Las Vegas is for just being its city itself. So I still think there's more things to learn and do.
Oh, there's no denying that, being here, who's covered a lot of things and has to get around to tell people about what's going on. I learn about a new spot or a new venue every single day that I've never heard of before. So as somebody who visits, for 3 days here, how could they have seen more than 1 or 2% of it all? So that's really what it comes down to. So for most of the last year, fantasy has been on a hiatus. Over the last month, you guys have gotten back to performing. How does it feel to be back on a normal performing schedule where you're week-to-week performing many times?
Yeah, it feels absolutely incredible. Like I said, I'm just so grateful to be back on stage. It was a big switch from, not really performing every night, just kind of doing home workouts, and then all of a sudden it's like everyday rehearsal, every night show. But I feel like now my body's caught up, and I feel good, I feel confident. All of us are just giving our all, just because last year, we didn't know that was going to happen. Nobody knew. It took us by surprise, and I just think that now it's you still don't know what's going to happen. So every night, just kill it, give it your all, and just be, happy and excited and grateful to be there.
Well, of course, you guys have been performing on limited audiences, but your audience will grow by 50%, up to 50% this coming Monday, tomorrow. Do the audiences, even though that they're smaller, seem more excited over the last month that there's live entertainment in Las Vegas, that they get to see people perform? Have you guys felt that from the audience?
Yeah, so right now we're at 100 people. Like you said, we're going to go up to 250. But at 100 people, it's been different. More of the visual aspect when, as a dancer, sometimes the light hits and you can see out into the audience and you're like, wow, there's like not a lot of people, but the energy and the noise and the crowd clapping for us and screaming has been incredible. And I think people are just so excited to be back, watching a Vegas show, being in Vegas on the Strip, being in the entertainment world. So I think that the loudness of the crowd makes up for the numbers.
Well, the reality of what it comes down to is being able to do a show multiple times a week for Like Fantasy at the Luxor Hotel and Casino, which you're in, takes a lot of preparation and training. So can you tell us a little bit about, the years of dedication to get to the moment where you can dance multiple times a week, and also what you do as far as your training routine goes to continue to be able to have the energy to do multiple shows a week?
Yeah, so growing up, like I said, I grew up in my family's dance studio, and I was dancing 6-7 days a week every day after school. So it was part of my life, and it just continued and growing. And like I said, going to New York and taking classes, that definitely prepares you, and your body's just, used to dancing every single day. And then you get to the point where you start auditioning, and the audition process is another thing. And, you get no's and you get maybes, and you just continue to audition, and you keep pushing, and you take that no and you do better the next one. And then finally, you book that show, and you're working 5, 6, 7 nights a week, which is an incredible feeling as well. And outside of that, obviously that's a workout in itself, giving your all when you're performing. But a lot of us, Pilates, yoga, fitness classes, some people go running, just anything really that keeps you active, especially for me, even if it's just a quick at-home YouTube workout, anything I can do just to, stay lean and stay toned and stay fit.
Do you have anything that you really lean on that motivates you or gets you excited about those kind of things?
For working out?
Yeah.
Just the energy that you get. It's like that same thing with like the endorphins. I'm continuing being on stage. Once you work out, those happy endorphins are going. So I think that always pushes me, and then just making sure that I look great on stage and that I can give 100%, not just look-wise, but energy-wise. Like you said, you need to be, on top of your game, and you need to be able to go through an entire show without feeling like you're gonna die or pass out. So, yeah.
Over the last year, we've had on a lot of different Las Vegas show performers who delve into other professions, from landscaping to teaching yoga classes, and you became a real estate agent. So is Skyla Johnson's story real estate agent by day and Las Vegas showgirl dancer performing artist at night?
Yeah, so, through everything, we definitely had to figure out other things that we could do just in case, it was a longer period of time before going back. I've always had a love for architecture and homes and design, and I thought, what's something that I could still make my own schedule and still have a career out of and still love? And I found real estate, and I took the classes, and I passed my real estate exam in October, and with everything taking longer, I didn't get my license until the beginning of this year. So I'm still working on that business and, growing my clientele, but I'm really excited to get started, and I love that the real estate agent by day, Vegas showgirl by night, and I'm really excited to begin that story as well.
Well, I think that's great. Obviously, the reality of what it comes down to is you guys obviously have a different schedule because you perform at hours that normal people don't perform. It's not an 8 to 5 thing, so there's all those extra hours during the day, as long as you're taking care of yourself and keeping up with yourself, that you can do other things during the day, during the normal hours as well. So I'm going to ask, this might be a very interesting question because you're just beginning your real estate journey, but let's put it like this. I think you have two different interesting views of the world, besides obviously growing up here. Many in the tourism entertainment community faced, tough challenges over the last year. But now that you're a real estate agent, and obviously, again, this journey is just beginning for you, but I'm guessing that you're going to, you probably have read a lot of articles and done a lot of research, obviously. Anybody who delves into a new profession wants to learn everything. But with the median house price continuing to go up here, you must feel like you're seeing two different sides of Las Vegas where, there's the one side of the professions where house prices continue to go up, and then there were other sides of the entertainment and tourism community that have been dealing with those challenges over the last year. So you must feel like you're getting a full picture of different sides and different professions now being into two different professions in Las Vegas now.
Yes, definitely. If you've read any, like you said, news articles, the home prices are going up and up and up. It's the seller's market, so sellers are getting what they're asking for or even more. It's very competitive. I've seen houses that, have had 30 offers on it, which is crazy to think about all those people moving here. And then, the tourism aspect of Vegas is getting a big hit. But I do think that with the way Vegas is and so many people moving here, that when everything does open and we're back at 100%, Vegas is going to thrive.
Yeah, I think the reality of what it comes down to is that you kind of look at it like that there are different people here, maybe again like work from home tech jobs and other people who can, do these things where they don't have to commute to a job, and now they're moving here and buying homes, and hopefully they come see shows like Fantasy and obviously support the local Vegas economy. And I think that's a very exciting time. But you must feel like that you're getting a full picture like that. It's not all doom and gloom. Obviously there are many people that dealt with challenges over the last year, and like you, did not get to dance on stage every night and do something that made you happy, but there are ways to make it through, and we can make it through and get to a more positive standpoint again.
Yes, definitely. I think we are on the up, and, everything is just up from here, even just audience numbers, people moving here. And like you said, I am seeing the big picture, and I definitely think we're on a great path. And I'm really excited for Vegas to get back to what it was. I think everyone's ready for that for sure.
Oh, there's no denying that. Looking forward, I guess this is a really simple question, but I guess it's like this. For the people who are going to come visit here soon or planning to visit here soon because they love Vegas or they want to support Vegas, is really buying a ticket to a show the best way to help the entertainment community, you think?
I really do. It definitely, not only promotes the show and gets our audiences in there, but it keeps shows alive, keeps energy alive. It keeps our jobs and everyone's jobs, and we have people don't really realize, I think, it's not just the performers, but it's the crew and the backstage and stagehands and the ushers and everybody. So buying a ticket is definitely helping the entertainment industry.
No denying that. So in closing, we'll give you a little moment to publicize yourself. Tell us a little bit about your real estate career, where you're working, what your ambitions are, and anything else you want to mention to the listeners today. Yeah,
so I'm an agent with Forever Home Realty. It's a really great real estate firm here in Las Vegas. I just started, but I'm really, really excited. I'm already doing all my research, looking at the market. I'm helping a client right now who's in the process of buying some rental properties. If anyone wants to follow my real estate journey, it's Vegas by Skyla on Instagram. And other than that, just definitely come see Fantasy. We're excited to welcome back the audiences. I know the girls and I are just so happy, and like I said, just incredibly, incredibly grateful to be back on stage and performing for the people and the, tourists or even people who are locals in Vegas. So definitely come see Fantasy and follow all the girls as well on social media if you go on Fantasy's Instagram.
There was a show about 10 years ago that was only 1 year called The Defenders. I'm not sure if you ever saw it, but one of the characters in the show, it was all about this Las Vegas law firm. One of the characters in the show was played by actress Journey Smollett, and she was a former showgirl who then became an attorney. So it's kind of one of those fun stories where I'm thinking about your life as a current showgirl but also real estate agent. It's kind of one of these things where it's like, it's just a total, typical, interesting, random, fun, unique Las Vegas story, which is your life.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited for the moment. I hope I can keep performing as long as possible and as long as my body will allow me to. But after that, definitely, I can't wait to see, what I can do with my real estate career and if I'll continue to have, dance a part of my life in years and years to come.
Yeah, I mean, Murray the Magician over the last year decided to start a landscaping business, and
yes.
So all of these different performers over the last year delve into other things. It just goes to show you that, to the people listening to this, that the people here who perform in Las Vegas, they're not just performers. They have a lot of different special talents and unique gifts, and Skyla Johnson definitely has those. You can go see her at Fantasy at the Luxor Hotel and Casino. So for dancer and real estate agent Skyla Johnson, I'm Christiana for CYInterview. Thanks so much for joining us today. Anything you want to add in closing?
Just thank you so much for having me, and come see Fantasy, and just keep supporting the Vegas Strip. Come see shows, and come gamble too.
Absolutely. Hang on with me.